Hello, fellow YouTubers. It is Miss R here, and this week we're going to be looking at Language Paper 1. Each day I'm going to be uploading a video on different questions. So there's 5 questions in total when it comes to Language Paper 1. But before I start, I'd just like to make you aware of a document that I have actually created that you can download for £1.10. What it is it's an introduction to Language Paper 1, AQA of course, and it goes through the techniques that you'll need to know. So language and structural techniques. Not only does it have the definitions, but it has the effects as well to help you with your analysis for language and structure, which is something that you're going to need in question 2, 3 and 4. Altogether, that is 36 marks out of the 40 marks on the paper. So it's really important that you do understand and are able to identify and analyze language and structural devices within each text. So back to this, we're going to be looking at The Fox and the Goat by Aesop. It's one of his fables. It's a very short story, and I thought this would be a great introduction into looking at Language Paper 1. I didn't want the text to be too long and too sort of complex just yet. We're going to go into that next week. So this lesson, we're only going to be looking at question 1, but I do have some other tasks for you to do before we even attempt question 1. That's to make sure that you do understand the text. Okay, so first things first, what we want to do is want to read the text. Whatever text you have, Language Paper 1, any practice, you do need to read the text and you want to sort of understand it, and make sure any vocabulary that you don't understand that you try and get to understand as much as possible. Obviously, when it comes to your exam, they will give you some words and they'll have a definition underneath it. But if there are other words that you don't understand, see if you can sort of get a meaning. But in this case, we're going to do a definition task. So let me read the extract to you first. A fox one day fell into a deep well and could find no means of escape. A goat, overcome with thirst, came to the same well and, seeing the fox, inquired if the water was good. Concealing his sad plight under a merry guise, the fox indulged in a lavish praise of the water, saying it was excellent beyond measure, and encouraging him to descend. The goat, mindful of only his thirst, thoughtlessly jumped down, but just as he drank, the fox informed him of the difficulty they were both in and suggested a scheme for their common escape. "If," said he, "you will place your 4 feet upon the wall and bend your head, I will run up your back and escape, and will help you out afterwards." The goat readily assented, and the fox leaped up on his back. Steadying himself with the goat's horns, he safely reached the mouth of the well and made off as fast as he could. When the goat upbraided him for breaking his promise, he turned around and cried out, "You foolish old fellow! If you had as many brains in your head as you have hairs on your beard, you would never have gone down before you had inspected the way up, nor have exposed yourself to the dangers from which you had no means of escape." So that's the end of the short story. On this slide, I've got 10 words for you, and what I'd like you to do is pause the video and get the definitions of each of the words. You might want to use the internet for this. Pause the video now and get on with that task. Okay, so hopefully you should have got these definitions or something of the sort. Overcome means to succeed in dealing with either a problem or a difficulty. Inquire, to ask for information from someone. Conceal, prevent something from being known. Plight, a dangerous, difficult or otherwise unfortunate situation. Guise, an external form, appearance or manner of presentation. Indulge, allow oneself to enjoy the pleasure of. descend, move or fall downwards. Forefoot, the front feet of a four-footed animal. Assent, the expression of approval or agreement. And upbraid, to find fault with someone. Let's move on. What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to find language and structural devices in the extract. I've given you a hint. Maybe look for verbs, adjectives, adverbs, similes, and make comments on the beginning, middle, and end. Don't forget, if you have downloaded that document, that should be in the link below. It has other language and structural devices that you can look for. Pause the video now, and I want you to spend approximately 7 minutes identifying these devices. Even though it's a small extract, you can still find a lot. Pause the video now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some things that I identified. Now, there's probably a lot more, but I just wanted to show you what I found. Now, if you didn't find the same things, make sure you pause the video and get these down. So I've looked at the fox and the goat. For the fox, I've looked at verbs, and I found verbs such as concealing and indulged. I found adjectives such as lavish, merry and foolish. And I found a simile, as many as brains as you have hairs. For the goat, I found assented and upbraided for verbs. Adjectives, mindful. Adverbs, thoughtlessly and readily. I've also identified that there's a third person narrative. I've looked at something in the beginning, the deep well part, and I've said that it opens up with a description of the main issue, which detaches us from the characters to foreground the moral, so we focus more on the problem than the actual characters itself. And I've looked at the ending where it says had no means of escape. There's no positive resolution, which shows that this is sort of like a moralistic story. Let's move on. So, question 1. All I'd like you to do, this is a 4-mark question, by the way. It's the easiest question there, but it's still something that you can get wrong if you're not actually paying attention. List 4 things the fox does in this fable. So don't forget, we're looking at the fox and things that he actually does. For this question, you can quote or paraphrase. Pause the video now and spend no more than 5 minutes answering this question. You can write bullet points for it. Okay, so here are 4 things that I found. He fell into a deep well. He encouraged the goat to go into the well. He jumped on the goat in order to exit the well. And he called the goat foolish for entering the well in the first place. So hopefully you've got something along the lines of what I have. Now, although this is a 4-mark question, those 4 marks can definitely increase your grade. So it's best to make sure that you try and complete it at some point within your exam. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at question 2. So much for watching this video, and I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.